Hello, my name is Jonas. In this video, I'll talk about the single biggest problem with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. A problem which basically no one, or at least very few, talks about. But before we begin, remember to like and subscribe, that's highly appreciated. So, if you saw my latest channel update video, you know that I'm starting my own freelancing business. And to get better liquidity in the company as I start out, I'm selling my Canon C1 Mark II camera. And I normally use that camera when shooting these YouTube videos, and because I'm selling it, I had to switch to instead use the Pocket 4K camera instead. Now, there are several issues with this great little camera that reviewers already pointed out. For example, short battery life and a fixed screen. But because this actually is a cinema camera in a small DSLR style format, I tend to see these problems more as attributes, which has to be taken into account when choosing this camera for a project, rather than actual issues with the camera itself. Now, some people will also tell you that this camera needs to be rigged up for it to work. But to my experience, it is 100% possible to use this camera with only a lens, a memory card and a few batteries. And with stabilization in post, you can achieve very good results. As an example, you can check out my video called Höstlugnet, which was shot all handheld without any stabilization or rigging. So I own this camera for about 6 months now, and the single biggest issue I come across when using it is in regards to the colors the camera produces. And the images I get seems to have some kind of warm magenta-ish kind of color cast to them, which affects the whole picture, but is extra noticeable in the greens, and it makes foliage like trees and grass look kind of withered. Now, if you're familiar with the concept of memory colors, which for example Van Herpen writes about in the Color Correction Handbook, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. If you're familiar with that concept, you also know that we're extra sensitive to certain objects and have strong preferences as to how they should appear in an image. This includes, for example, blue skies, green grass and skin tones. Now, for me, the Pocket 4K basically gets all this wrong. I didn't have so much trouble with the blue hue it rendered from the sky, but the overall image just felt wrong and made me sad. As an example, here's this image without any color correction to it, except for normalizing and white balancing the image. I used a gray card from Datacolor to get the white balance right, and it was shot at ISO 800, which is in the first native ISO range. And I noticed that changing between two native ISO ranges also affects the colors the camera produces. Now, to get a better starting point, I'm using a LUT for emotive color, which is meant to emulate the look of an Arri Alexa. This LUT really cleans up the image and makes it more viewable. Although I'm not always happy with the results I get from only using the LUT, and in this case I have to apply further adjustments to the image. I don't know if it's because of IR pollution, the lens I've chosen, or ISO setting, but some of the blacks are still saturated with a magenta tint to them, as you can see for example on my hat. Now I should also mention that I'm not using any ND filters, but I'll experiment more with ND filters and IR cut filters in the future. After the LUT, I've added some adjustments to address the issues I just mentioned, and I'm pretty satisfied with the result, although I'll probably tweak this grade more in the future. I'm also thinking about creating a tutorial on how I achieve this look. If you find it interesting, please let me know in the comment section below. I also saw just the other day that colorist Jean Melara recently released his own Pocket 4K and Pocket 6K Alexa conversion, which I'm planning to try out in the future as well. So, have you had any problems with these issues that I mentioned in this video, and how did you solve them? Please let me know. If you have thoughts or questions, please leave a comment below. Also, remember to like and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, until next time, goodbye.